Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remain standing. Gentlemen, please remove your caps. To honor America and those who protect our freedom and hold it abroad, please take a moment to playing our national anthem. Good evening and welcome to the arena for tonight's volleyball match between the Muskies from Lakeland University and your Calvin University Knights.
Let's take a moment to meet tonight's teams. First for Lakeland, number 1, Connor Lewis. Number 7, Morgan Cahill. Number 8, Wade Hesselink. Number 9, Caden Toledo. 15, Joe Butterfield. 20, Colin Kenny. 22, Joe Boganski. And number 23, Jonah Bruner. Starting tonight for the Muskies at Libero, a senior from Hartford, Wisconsin, number 4, Levi Everts. A junior from Mequon, Wisconsin, number 5, Eli Weinrich. A senior from Muskego, Wisconsin, number 6, Ben Busalaki. Number 11 is a freshman from Erie, Colorado, Sage Zhang. A junior from Shorewood, Wisconsin, number 13, Jacob Donahoe. A junior from Cottage Grove, Wisconsin, number 18, Jordan Davis-Troller. And from Hartford, Wisconsin, a junior, number 19, Chase Anderson. Head coach for the Muskies is Brian Brushmer. And now let's meet your Knights. Number 5, Jake Davidson. Number 6, Sven Grimbergen. Number 8, Ian Bird. 10, Philip McClure. 12, Alejandro Burns. 13, Ezekiel Jalen. 15, Giovanni Serafini. 16, Bryce Brookhuizen. 17, Brady Godauskas. And number 18, Wyatt Birch. Starting tonight for the Knights at Libero, a junior from Boscoville, Wisconsin, number 2, Parker Steele. A freshman from Lowell, Michigan, number 3, Gavin Barber. At Libero, a freshman from Kuna, Idaho, number 7, Jackson Cook. A senior from Grand Rapids, Michigan, number 9, Gabe Laughlin. Freshman from Caldwell, Idaho, number 11, Carter Nichols. A freshman from Sparta, Michigan, number 19, Troy Jones. Sophomore from Holland, Michigan, number 20, Cam Dogger. And a sophomore from Byron Center, Michigan, number 21, Nick Fulci. Head coach for the Knights is Spencer Frederick.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Vennord Arena, home of the Calvin Knights for this NCAA Division III men's volleyball matchup between the Calvin University Knights and the Northern Athletic Collegiate Conference Lakeland University men's volleyball. The Muskies are coming into play here. 3-3, taking on the Calvin Knights at home for a wonderful Saturday evening for men's volleyball. My name is Ryan Shearhart, joining in the booth live with my main man, my partner in crime, Ryan Schumer. Ryan, are you ready for some men's volleyball action here from Van Noord Arena?
I'm really ready for some men's volleyball action, Ryan. Our first game here in Van Noord. Home here, we had a doubleheader for the men's team last week. Davenport and Cornerstone, the Knights splitting that one, winning it against Davenport, not able to pull it out versus Cornerstone. But the Knights, the 1-7 record doesn't tell the tale, Ryan. They went out to California, took on the #1 team in the nation, toe-to-toe for a little bit with them. So really expecting huge things out of the Knights this year.
In a second-year program, still a lot of growth here for this Calvin Knights team. And I know Coach Spencer Frederick, a man with many credentials, a professional volleyball player himself, is really getting this team and building this program. It takes time to build, but we will see here. And especially like you mentioned, going to play the #1 team in the country, having experiences with your squad, taking them out to California, playing against some top-notch competition like that far away from home can build a lot, not only for a team, but for a program. And we're getting all set here for some volleyball action on Saturday from Van Noord Arena. It's going to be the Knights back to serve. It's going to be number 20, Cameron Dodger.
For the Knights, Cam Dogger.
Yeah, Cam, a returner last year. The Knights bringing back a pretty much wholly new squad on the floor today. Only Parker Steele, Cameron Dogger.
And Dogger's serve is up, and it is over. Handled nicely by the Huskies, and a powerful swing right there from number 18, Jordan Davis-Trawler, finding the hardwood. And man, what an emphatic swing that time from him. Sejong back to serve.
Yeah, you said it right there, Ryan. An emphatic swing, set the statement early. And nonetheless, you know, we talk about it in the women's games. Those are huge, detrimental to a squad. Those serving errors completely cut the momentum. Let's see what the Knights can do with it.
Now back to serve for the Knights is number 3, Gavin Barber, and his serve is up. And going to be a foot fault there as he stepped on the line.
Foot fault point, Lakeland.
Going to be a point for Lakeland here as they take an early 2-1 lead. Back-to-back service errors, Ryan. Both squads really just trying to settle in here to the environment of Van Noord Arena. And the southpaw back to serve. Dug out there nicely in the back row, and a swing, and handled well by the defensive specialist for the Muskies. Just kind of sending it over. Free ball opportunity now for the Knights. Swung on and finding the hardwood there. Number 19, Troy Jones.
Yeah, the freshman gets a good swing on it there after Gabe Laughlin. Also getting a few good swings on it here. The Knights are in system. They're working. They're getting the ball to the outside. They're swinging well right now. So let's see. Still split 2-2.
And taking advantage of the free ball opportunity there were the Knights as Nichols sends it over. Set up on the outside and unable to handle it. Were the Knights. A nice outside swing there, giving the Muskies the lead, as we're going to have a substitution here. As checking in is going to be Joe Bajinski. And back to serve here
22,
will be Joe,
Bajinski.
the outside hitter from Hartford, Wisconsin, the freshman. Back to serve it here for Lakeland, and his serve is up, and it is over. Dug out there in the back row. A little bit of a wild setup there, and that swing is going to be just left. And Lakeland will get a point, going up 2 here.
Yeah, Lakeland looks to pull away. The Knights have got to stop this momentum while they can. Lakeland is in system and getting into the outside hitters early.
And by Gansky, the southpaw serve is up. Dug out there in the back row. Trying to keep it up are the Knights. They're able to get it over. Free ball opportunity here for the Muskies, and putting it down in the hardwood is Jacob Donahue, finding a hole there.
And Ryan, the Knights have got to find a way to receive this serve well. They're giving multiple free balls to the Muskies, taking an early 3-point lead early on.
And by Gansky here to serve for Lakeland. Dug out there by the defensive specialist of the Calvin Knights. They able to get a fingertip on that swing. Was the middle hitter. And now finding the hardwood. No, able to keep it up. A fantastic effort by the Muskies there to try to keep that ball in the air, but that one's going to roll out and eventually be a point for the Knights. I don't even know how they kept that one up, Ryan. That was impressive.
Yeah, Nick Bolchi doing a really good job of swinging on that one there. Almost a full rotation 360 there, windmill. Slamming it down onto the hardwood. Not sure what the talk is here, possibly asking for a net violation, but we'll have a few substitutions here. Ryan, Knight Nation continues to file in here. A few more people here in the lower bowl, kind of still feeling the remnants, the juice from the 8-point win earlier where the Calvin Knights men's basketball team took down the Hope Dutchmen 2-0.
Muskies, and anything you can do, I can do better, the Muskies say. A powerful swing and unable to receive in the back row are the Knights.
Yeah, right.
Muskie serve here.
Gavin Barber, the freshman, was all alone in the back row there. Not sure what the Knights were doing. A lot of piling towards the net. Just kind of a sitting duck in the back row.
And just having to send it over. Free ball opportunity here for the Knights. We'll see if they can take advantage from the back row. And a fantastic effort there in the back row by the Muskies. Number 5.
Out of bounds, no touch. Point
Eli Weinrich just keeping the play alive there, but that swing a little bit far, and it's going to be back to serve Chase, and Troy Jones for the Calvin Knights.
Yeah, Ryan, really love the slide play there by Nick Bolche. You don't see that a lot in the men's games, but nonetheless, he got it done, got the Muskies out of system as that one sneaks over past the block of Bolche.
Number 5, Eli.
And the Muskies trying to extend that lead once again, now up to 2.
Some nice topspin right there in that swing, Ryan. Just kind of hit the net, hit a couple elbows on its way down to the floor as the serve is up and it is over, and some power behind that serve. Oh my goodness.
And Ryan,
I tell you what, Ryan, there's no way I'm getting in front of that thing. I blinked and the ball was already back where it came from.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy, Ryan. Looking forward to the next serve by Buslachi.
Dug out there in the back row by the Knights, set cross court. From the back row, swung on the defensive specialist of the Calvin Knights, able to handle it. Free ball opportunity. They said, I'm going to take a swing at that one, and it goes right back to the hardwood.
As Buslachi there gets that topspin that we were just talking about. I wish I could do that in gym class, Ryan. I was never able to do that. I hit the net a lot in gym class. I don't know about you, but there, another Buslachi serve, this time received well by the Knights.
I'll tell you what, man, I don't know if I looked as good as Gavin Barber did right there, sending that ball to the hardwood, but I'm gonna tell myself I looked as good as Barber did swinging on that, but I was a gym class hero when it came to volleyball, man. I can really get that thing over. I don't know if your school had Ironman volleyball, but anytime Ironman volleyball happened, I really came out of my bubble and my stars shined.
And saving it there, almost able to keep it up were the Knights. Lakeland up by 4 now, and Ryan, I'm sure you were a demon on the volleyball court, just like the soccer field, just like the basketball court over there in Clinton, Michigan, and clearly the baseball field. And Ryan, it's pretty clear the best server here for the Muskies, Buslachi. And really, we got to look at that like we do the women's games with Lauren Lee. You got to get him out quickly. Yeah. You got to reserve it well, and you got to get points quick to get him out, because he's going to burn you there from the service line.
Yeah, anytime you have a talented server like that can, especially in his case, where he can burn you with both being a very good spot server as well as having a lot of power behind that serve, there's a lot of different ways he can beat you. So you've got to play your best volleyball in that opportunity to get him out from behind the service line. And man, oh man, the Muskies are going on a roll, and we're gonna.
Yeah, Ryan, some really interesting decisions there. A lot of finesse recently, a lot of tips right in the middle of the floor. The Knights are just a little bit late getting the fingertips under the ball, not able to keep it up. Early on, they were going power. Now they're going finesse. Let's see what they choose to go here as the Knights getting in system.
Dug out there in the back row, diving attempt to keep it up. Going to be a free ball opportunity for the Knights. Set up from the back row, and going to be out. Trying for the back row is Troy Jones. The Knights had a good setup there, going Parker Steele over to Dogger, setting up Jones, but unable to convert on the free ball opportunities. That ball is dug out nicely there by Steele, diving all over the floor. The libero, the defensive specialist, showing why he's wearing the different colored uniform all over the floor, keeping the ball alive for the Knights, but that one's going to be a little bit too strong as well, as the Muskies are going to jump out now to a 6-point lead, 13-7, and Ryan, these Knights just look out of system offensively.
Yeah, Ryan, would not be surprised if the Muskies are able to steal another point, if Coach Spencer Frederick would call a timeout here, kind of get his boys in sync in system, give them a breather, just try to do anything to stop this momentum. Another free ball, and just scraping, touching the back part of the line there.
A little bit of pain. If we were playing baseball and that thing hit the line like that, a lot of chalk would be flying up. And that's as marginal as it gets right there, but look out. The Muskies are on a run, and it's 14-7 in set number 1, and we just blinked.
Yeah, for sure, Ryan. The Muskies able to jump out to a quick lead. But Ryan, if there was any sort of betting on timeout calling, maybe I should just start cashing in right there at the casino.
Yeah, your parlay would have hit.
Not as student athletes, we can't do that here.
No,
we're not endorsing anything along those lines, but like we said, the Knights have got to stop the Muskies' momentum. They got to stop it fast. Really not able to receive the serve. That's been the huge part of the game. They're giving the Muskies way too many free balls, and the Muskies are doing anything they well please, Ryan. Between the free balls, either finesse or just straight power, the Knights, either way, are really just getting pummeled there on the front of the net. The Knights have got to find a way to stop the power and have enough juice out of the backside to be able to get under the ball, keep it off the floor when they do go finesse. And I believe the Knights need some sort of run here. We talk about it in the fall. Volleyball is such a momentum sport. Once the Knights got a run, we could see this game all the way back. We could see the Knights 15-14 in the blink of an eye.
Well, absolutely, and anytime, too, you're on your home floor like the Knights are, having home court advantage, they're used to this atmosphere. They're used to Vennord Arena, and if they could come out and take set number 1 here from Lakeland University, from the Muskies, and set the tone at the home floor, that's huge for them. They don't want to be playing catch-up in their own gym. As back to serve here will be Jung. Dug out there nicely. And that set just a little bit too far. And it's going to be another point for the Muskies.
Yeah, Carter Nichols there, almost able to keep it in, just goes over the pylon on the net, and that'll be out. The Lakeland Muskies continue to roll here out of the timeout.
And that serve is powerfully struck into the net with some conviction, but I thought for a second.
Ever imagine, I want to get one of these for a volleyball shot, because this top spin that these guys are having on these serves has got to be nuts on the Rapsodo.
And some finesse right there from Troy Jones, realizing the outside block was up and probably unable to get that ball over, so going with a little bit of a finesse approach, just kind of tipping it up and into some space, finding the hardwood. Nice court vision there from Jones as the Knights get a much-needed point. Skimming the net there, handled nicely in the back row, set outside, and wow! Talk about finding a gap, finding a hole, and finding a corner. Weinrich able to do that.
And the Muskies have been doing a very good job all match of finding the corners, finding the very back, maybe the last speck of dust on the line.
Steele handling it nicely there from the back row, the defensive specialist. The Muskies setting cross court, going for a tip, and Steele diving, able to keep it up. The Knights send it over, but just a little bit too far is Dogger's attempt. The sophomore out of Holland, Michigan, Cameron Dogger, just a little bit too far that time, but what an effort from Parker Steele, the defensive specialist for the Knights, just keeping that play alive as another service error. Ryan.
Yeah, the Knights doing a really good job of finding ways to keep the ball off the hardwood line. But right now, they just seem uneasy. They seem uncomfortable on the floor, and you got to play comfortable. You got to stay loose out there.
Dug out there by the Muskies, set on the outside. And gonna be out. A point for the Knights, looking out there as that one went up and straight down. I don't think anyone was getting a fingertip on that one, as high on the outside as number 19, Chase Anderson, was.
Yeah, Busalachi there slamming it home, but nonetheless, Knights get the point. 6-point lead for the Muskies. And free ball here for the Knights, and see if they can take advantage.
Up against the net, setting to the outside, and that's going to be out. And Ryan, these Knights are just so out of system on the offensive end. Service errors, as well as not being able to take advantage of free ball opportunities. I mean, especially when your offense is this discombobulated, this out of system, like these Knights are, and unable to find a rhythm, you've got to take advantage of your free balls when they come to you, Ryan.
Yeah, got to take advantage of the free balls. The Knights just missing a little bit under the ball right now. A lot of their offensive-minded attempts have gone out there, and there goes another one.
And I'll tell you what, if you look at this outside block, Jacob Donahue's doing a really nice job in the middle of being big and being wide, and whoever that outside is, whether it's Chase Anderson or whether it's supporting company, that outside block is causing so much trouble right now for the Calvin Knights, which is they're trying to aim too much rather than just being able to go through the block, go around the block, whatever they're trying to do. It's just not working right now, setting up on the outside due to a really good outside block like we see right here. Set right back on the outside.
And wow, Muskie's able to keep it up.
And I would love to see more of that. Fantastic job there by Mochi in the middle. Why not feed the middle? The outside attack's not working. We talked about that really good outside block. Attack through the middle right there.
Davis Troller back in for
Bolchi doing a really good job. Tied in kills with Troy Jones at 2. Bolchi with a block. So the Knights have got some production from the middle of the court so far.
Dug out there in the back row. Wide set.
Net violation there for the Knights.
And an unfortunate net violation call right there for the Knights.
Calvin whistled for a net violation, point Lakeland.
And that's a violation right there that you just really got to avoid. I mean, such a wide set, not really much on the outside that the Muskies outside hitter could do with that ball to begin with, but just giving him a free point, really a bailout there from the Knights. Unfortunate mistake. There's a long set that time, and the Muskies wanting it in the net call, not going to get it.
Net violation for Lakeland, point Calvin.
Oh, and net violation to be called on the Muskies. Right there. I believe it would have been Calvin point either way.
I think it actually would have been the Lakeland point, not to controversy, Ryan, but I believe it might have gone.
You fighting with me?
I believe it went off Gavin Barber there out on the block, but nonetheless, we always love a Calvin point here in the booth.
We'll take it. We'll take it. Anytime the maroon and gold can get on the scoreboard, we'll take it. And now, so will the maroon and gold with the way that this offense has been out of system and discombobulated, as that'll be another Muskie point.
And again, the Knights are just missing long, just a little bit under the volleyball right now. And a timeout again for Coach Spencer Frederick.
Calvin calls it second timeout.
Knights looking at any way to stop the momentum. The Lakeland Muskies, 4 points to take set number 1. Knights trailing by 8 so far, so Coach Frederick just trying to get anything he can do. Maybe not even taking set number 1, maybe fighting back, getting some momentum before set number 2. Obviously an 8-point comeback would be insane in its endeavor, but find a way to just build back that momentum, build the opportunities for set number 2.
Yeah, Ryan, and if you're Coach Frederick right now, what are you telling your squad? I mean, it just seems like on the home floor tonight, set number 1, obviously a lot of volleyball still left to play, thankfully, for the Knights. But what do you say to your squad when you just really can't get the rhythm? You're just out of system so much on the offensive end, it seems like every break isn't going your way.
I mean, I think it's as clear as just the energy isn't there for the Knights right now. Nobody's smiling. Nobody's having fun out there. Obviously, they're going and getting the hard-fought balls, keeping them off the floor, but really no energy other than that. If you look on the other side, the Muskies smiling, laughing, having a great time. Obviously, they're winning, so they are having a great time, but nonetheless, you got to have some energy, and you got to bring some juice in order to get on one of those runs. So let's see if the Knights can do that here. And the powerful serve of Ben Busalachi, the senior out of Muskego.
It's one of those things, Ryan, you got to bring your own thunder. Bring your own energy every single time you step out on the court. And we'll see if this timeout can boost the energy of the Knights. As a scramble here, Steele able to get the, would have been free ball, but sends it right back. But it's the Knights are gonna luck out here, a mistake from the Muskies.
And huge there, Parker Steele able to receive that serve very well from Busalachi, and he was only able to serve one time, so huge for the Knights, huge for the run, only down by 7 now as Bolchi back to serve.
And the Muskies just giving it right back. I mean, the Knights gave that free ball, and that one might have ended up in the cheap seats, Ryan. That was a long serve.
That might have cleared 2 volleyball courts, Ryan.
That's going to be back to serve Donahue. Dug out there by the Knights in the back row. And that's going to be a catch and a throw.
Yeah, a little bit of a lift violation.
Yeah, you're gonna get called for that one. I think that one stayed in the hand a little bit too long.
Yeah, just a little bit of a low set, and another serving error there from the Muskies.
Nice jump throw there. I mean, we might need to get him on the baseball team. Maybe we can play some shortstop. I mean, backhand a ground ball all the way through that thing over the net.
Yeah, Ryan, that set there just a little bit too short, not able, even if he were to push it and not lift it, wasn't going to get it over the net, so might as well try to sneak away with the call here and there as Dogger back to serve.
And that's going to be out for another service error for the Knights. And when you're playing catch-up the way that these Knights are and are struggling in the offensive end, service errors, they're going to kill you. Way too many mistakes.
Yeah, Ryan, really intrigued to get the stat sheet here. Once the end of set number 1, Muskegon set point right here. And a very lucky serve.
And through the middle there, using his left hand, kind of a wide set, but Laughlin able to find a hole. The senior sending that one back. A powerful middle block right there. And that'll be set number 1 as Lakeland is going to take set 1.
Yeah, Lakeland takes that one very comfortably, 16-20, set to nothing. We'll have a 2-minute break. Normally, Ryan, we'd have maybe an ad read, maybe a Big E's, Chick-fil-A. No ad reads today, so, you know, no food. It's dinner time. We hope you guys at home are very full.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you a free ad read here for all the folks at home. I'll give you one guess where I'm going after this, Ryan. One guess. I'm getting myself a nice, delicious meal. It's on 28th Street. I'm a frequent visitor.
Texas Roadhouse.
I will be going to Texas Roadhouse. I'll be getting the steak kebabs, medium rare. I don't know, do you think I should get a mix in a salad today, or should I go double rice?
See, I'm more of a salad guy. I got to watch my pounds, obviously. I got to watch the calories.
I'm trying to put a couple on. We got a long baseball season ahead of us, so I might have to go with the double rice, get some carbs in me. I had a really early morning practice. You know, I'll tell you what, I never thought that I would say it, but we kind of got to sleep in today. I mean, 5:45 a.m. practices throughout the week, but on Saturday, we got to sleep in 8 p.m. Or 8 a.m. practice.
Yeah, very.
8 p.m. practice, we'd be running a little bit late, wouldn't we?
Yeah, we would be running a little late, Ryan. And the real question: cheese fries or no cheese fries?
Ooh. We're gonna have to go no cheese fries. We're balling on a budget. I mean, we get paid to be here in the booth with you guys, but not appetizer amount. I mean,
fair enough.
Apparently our services aren't worth appetizer amount, but
yeah, Ryan. Looking at the stat sheet now that we were just provided, we got about a minute left to break, and both teams serving at what can be not said just a horrendous serving. 5 service errors for the Muskies, 3 for the Knights, and just that can't happen. Especially for the Knights when you're trailing by 7 midway through the teens. And Ryan, the Knights hitting in a negative 115 to Lakeland, way opposite, hitting 300 here up to this point. Just clear night and day. The stat sheet tells a story of this one.
Oh, absolutely. The stat sheet tells a story. And the stat sheet also tells the story of not only are the Muskies winning in every single statistical category, points, but they're also winning in every single statistical category that you want to believe. They're hitting at a better, they're serving at a better rate, they're attacking at a better rate, they're receiving at a better rate, they're blocking at a better rate. Everything right now is better by the Muskies, and that's not a recipe for success if you're the Knights.
Yeah, Ryan, looking here at the attacks, 6 kills, 9 errors, and the Knights have just got to find a way. It would have been neck and neck if the Knights can find a way to stop getting under that ball a little bit on those outside hits. Find a way like these Muskies are doing. Find the very end of the line. Find the corner. And we'd have a ball game here. So set number 2, slate swipe clean. Let's see if the Knights can jump out to one of those early leads, Ryan. As it looks to be Se Zhang, the freshman out of Colorado, will be back to serve for the Muskies. And Zhang, the powerful southpaw. A lot of topspin, a lot of power from Zhang.
And Steele just kind of sending it over there. And a powerful swing with some conviction that time from Davis Trawler.
Yeah, the Lakeland Muskies doing a good job of getting in the system and really not playing with it too much, just sending it right over powerfully. Quick 1-0 lead. Wow, what a call there from Gabe Lakeland there.
And that was maybe a throw up a prayer. Pastor Mary might have said a prayer this morning that might have blown a gust of wind. That got a point there for the Knights. Goodness gracious, this Dogger back to serve.
Yeah, going over the net, that one seemed way out, and next thing you know, that topspin sent it very, very close to the line.
Received well by Steele. Dogger setting up on the outside. Handled well by Lakeland. A tip try. Doggers there, able to receive on the outside. Swung on. Dug out nicely in the back row by Lakeland. Set cross court. And Dogger just sending it out. Free ball opportunity here for Lakeland. And we're going to get a lift call there on Davis Trawler on the outside. Got a little bit too much underneath the volleyball that time. And it's going to be a Calvin point with Dogger back to serve. 2-1 Calvin leads here in set number 2.
Yeah, Ryan, the Knights look a lot more comfortable, a lot more in system on the outside hitters as Dogger just past the back line.
And a service error there. 2-2 here. We're knotted up from Venort Arena.
Weinrich, curving serve.
Dogger. Wow! Laughlin with a powerful swing. And that hurt just watching. Goodness gracious, Ryan. I would not get in the way of that.
Yeah, the Knights doing a really good job there, and Laughlin right in system. And it's a clear difference in teams between the team that came out.
Ace right there. A nice top spun serve that found a gap between the front row and the back row.
And Ryan, a clear difference in Knights team that came out from the first to the second set. In system, serving well, hitting well. The Knights are in system and they're rolling right now. 4-2 is your score in set number 2. We got a tip out call there. Muskies point. Joe Baganski, outside hitter, the freshman, heads into this one. Ryan, both of these teams sporting a lot of freshmen on the roster.
Yeah, a lot of youth for both of these squads, and that might be a little bit of an explanation, Ryan, for some of the mental errors. Takes a little bit to get settled into the collegiate level. Dogger setting it up on the outside, dug out nicely there in the back row by the Muskies. And maybe keeping a ball in that would have been out was the Knights' back row, but another block on the outside by the Muskies. We've talked about that outside block as a miscommunication there between Dogger and Laughlin is going to cost the Knights a point.
Yeah, Ryan, Donahue and Busalachi out here on our near side block. Just continuous, sending it back to the Knights and just finally able to find one of those mental gaps of the Knights. 4-4, still knotted up here early in set number 2.
A long set wide that slid across the net, and man, that almost came and whacked me in the face over here in the booth. If you saw someone jump at the bottom of your screen, that was me.
I think we got the Lakeland Muskies logo, which is a very, very cool logo there with a muskie on it, but I think that's blocking Ryan, so we don't have to be too embarrassed for jumping out of the way of the ball.
That's an awesome logo. I'm not gonna lie, that's a really cool logo.
Yeah, we get a nice view of the scoreboard up there. It's got a nice, I believe that's a fish hook in the hand, but nonetheless knotted up at 5s. Chase Anderson, the junior out of Hartford, back to serve. And Bolchi once again with that high arcing windmill type motion, able to get the high degree angle down, hits the hardwood.
And now an opportunity to serve for Ezekiel Jalen, the freshman from Wisconsin. Able to keep it alive, steal. Setting it up and finding the hardwood, Troy Jones. You can put it on the board, yeah.
And the Knights doing a really good job there. Staying in system and keeping it off the hardwood once again, but this time compared to set number 1, keeping it off the hardwood and then finding an outside hitter to put it home. Knights there, another serving error this time. Ezekiel Jalen, the freshman. Bryce Brookhausen also in for the Knights. Ben Busalachi to serve, another powerful high receive serve, and Bolchi with the slide puts it away, and the Knights once again able to keep Busalachi away from the service line. Knights by 2, 8-6 early in set number 2.
And Jones back to serve here for the Knights.
Powerful serve there from Jones. And the Muskies able to just keep it in.
And sending it to the hardwood. Bolchi.
Yeah, Nick Bolchi almost vertical, sending that one down in front of the volleyball line. Here directly in front of us, and a timeout for the Muskies of Lakeland, and their first of the night. Knights with their biggest lead of the night, 9-6 so far. And Ryan, this Knights squad is a completely different squad that came out in set number 1. They're hitting in system. Obviously, they're still making a few of those service errors, so those can obviously still improve, but nonetheless, every single other part of their game has changed. They've been able to stay in system, they've been able to receive the ball, and they've been able to hit inbounds.
And this is a different volleyball team in set number 2 than we saw in set number 1. Much better, like you mentioned, offensively, much better defensively. And what's really good to see is they're performing well on the offensive end. They're taking advantage of the opportunities they need to take advantage of. And they've still made, like you mentioned, several mental mistakes, several errors where they've shot themselves in the foot. And they're still leading by 3 here in set number 2.
Yeah, doing a really good job of just limiting the mental mistakes, limiting those opportunities where you give free points to the Muskies. And that's the key to the game. There's always going to be those errors. There's always going to be the mistakes. The key to success is limiting those mistakes.
And back to serve is Troy Jones. Been a hot hand in set number 2 here for the Knights. And his serve is up, and it is into the net.
And Ryan, we just talked about limiting those mistakes, and that was one of them, is another serving error for the Knights and Troy Jones.
And back to serve here for Lakeland is going to be Donahue. His serve is up. Dug out there in the back row. A little bit of scramble here, set up on the outside. And that's going to be just out from Eli Weinrich. A powerful swing on the outside, but sent that ball just a little bit too far wide.
Ryan, I'm trying to feel if we have any sort of wind gusts here in the arena. It seems like whatever team is on the right side of your screen is just sending the ball a little bit long, as the Muskies this time having a hard time on their swings, keeping it in bounds, and the Knights doing a good job of keeping it in bounds, as that one just wide, and that'll be out. Lakeland crawls within 2.
And back to serve here. It's going to be Se Zhang. The southpaw serve is dug out there in the back by Steele. And a powerful swing on the outside off the fingertips of Eli Weinrich. And it's going to be a Knight point, as we have a couple substitutions now as Dogger checks back in, as well as Gabriel Laughlin.
And Brookhausen there, the freshman out of Kalamazoo, 6'8". on the outside, so a dangerous weapon for the Knights. And an error there from the Knights, able to get the free ball, really just have to punch it down, and just hitting a little bit too horizontal. That one will head out off of the swing from Gavin Barber out of Lowell, Michigan. Dogger,
set cross court. Dug out there in the back row, set to the outside. set back by the outside block of the Knights, and back to serve now for the Knights is going to be Gavin Barber.
Yeah, Lakeland there doing a good job of sending that one back. Kind of patty kick there at the net, and Lakeland able to win it.
And going to be a point for the Muskies there. A powerful swing that found a gap and eventually the hardwood.
And Ryan, it's really clear that the Muskies are not laying down. They're not letting up, staying within 2, trying to find a way to keep in this one, wait for any sort of mental error that they could make to try to fight their way back in here. Joe Bogansky, the freshman, back to serve. And just a little bit too far.
And look out, this is a 1-point volleyball game.
Yeah, Jacob Donahue there, the middle blocker, sends that one back. And Ryan just kind of lurking in the shadows where the Muskies possibly trying to even this one up here.
Powerful swing, but that's going to catch a fingertip actually in the back row. A ball that definitely should have been let go. Ends up a point for the Muskies.
Yeah, right off the fingertip right there at the net was the shot from the Muskies. And we're all knotted up at 12 once again.
And Ryan, that one wasn't even close. That was definitely going to be out.
And a little bit of discussion, possibly a little bit of score table issues, we believe to be 12-12, and there we go. There we have it. As the Muskies throw up their hands in success. It's finally,
and we have an even volleyball game here in set number 2.
And the Knights have got to find a way to slow this roll now. Possibly that serve going out.
Scrambling over a long set, the outside block proves to be faithful, but the Knights running over the floor with an attempt to keep it. But man, oh man, that outside block continues to be successful for the Muskies.
Yeah, it continues to be successful. The Knights have got to find a way to use some of that finesse, try a little bit to sneak one in the back there.
And we've seen Troy Jones have a little bit of court vision, knock it over that block and find the floor, as well as the Knights having some success attacking through the middle, is attempting that tip try over the outside block right there, but handled by the Muskie.
The fans really getting that courtside experience over there, getting the deflection off of Steele and coming very close to being involved in the play, but nonetheless, Muskie's point, lead by 2 now. And we said it, Ryan, the Knights have got to find a way to slow the roll. It's a game of runs and momentum. And the Muskies have it all. There's your momentum killer there, Ryan. Huge for the Knights.
Yeah, and a service there, and we'll see if the Knights can take advantage.
Jordan Davis-Trawler checks back in for Joe Bogansky. The junior out of Cottage Grove. Carter Nichols back to serve, another freshman for the Knights.
And going to be a free ball opportunity here for the Knights. We'll see if they can take advantage. And attacking through the middle there, but well defended by the Muskies. And from the back row, the springy Eli Weinrich finds the hardwood.
Weinrich with a wonderful backcourt attack. And been doing it all night. First time I believe he's been successful, first or second time he's been successful out of the back row, but as the Knights continue to be able to block more and more out of the front row, would not be surprised if they continue to look out of the back row. And middle blocker Jacob Donahue sends that one back from Nick Golchi. And Coach Frederick uses his first time out of set number 2 after a massive run from the Lakeland Muskies. Now up 3 here, midway through set number 2. And Ryan, what really changed out of that first time out from the Muskies? Obviously, we saw the Knights leading by 3, 9-12 was your score. The Knights only able to pick up 1. The Muskies, 7 whole points, able to really swing the tides And we talked about the Knights coming out a whole new team from set number 1 to set number 2. The Muskies came out a whole new team from before the timeout to after the timeouts. The Knights have got to do something to slow this roll. And folks, looking forward to some conference play in the division. The Knights' first conference game, February 25th versus Trine. Looking forward to that as the Knights 3-6 last year in the division look to be contenders in the MCVL. Everybody 0-0, nobody played any conference so far. So, and that conference, Wabash, Baldwin Wallace, Mount Union, Wittenberg, Trine, Mount St. Joseph, Adrian, and Olivet. So the Knights can find their way to hopefully a title here later in 2025 as the Knights get back rolling. And again,
outside block.
Both teams blocking very, very well. And that one just sent off the hands.
Sent back a little bit too hard and for a Knight score.
You said it right there, sent back a little bit too hard. Busalachi, Knights within 2. The freshman Jalen back to serve.
And wow, that's one way to get through an outside block. Can't go over it, can't go under it, can't go around it, so let's go through it.
And let's go through it hard, and Busalachi there gets the kill, now back to serve, and this is one of those guys the Knights have got to keep out of there. Once again, received well.
Set up on the outside, and free ball opportunity, but miscommunication between Steele
Yeah, Brady Gudowskis there coming out of the back row. Look for him as the Knights continue to get blocked up front as Busalachi sends that one far. Knights within 3, and I was obviously just saying, but Gudowskis looks like he's in the front row now, but the Knights have got to find a way to switch up something. Really just every single time going power at the net has only resulted in blocks from this Muskie squad.
Steele setting it up on the outside, finding the hardwood there.
And a really good job there from Brookhuizen there to sneak it past the arms, the outside block for the Muskies a little bit late. Knights within 2 looking to get on a run. And Ryan, really not sure how that wasn't a double touch hitting off the hand in the face, but nonetheless, we'll get a Knight point, 17-18.
Looked like it was playing pinball there for a second, the way that thing went over the net, but the Knights will take the point. And a powerful serve there from Jones. Steele trying to keep it alive, but he can't, as that one finds the floor, and 19-17 now the Muskies lead. But a nice little offensive run there by the Knights. We've seen a couple of them behind the service of Troy Jones. And that one is sent back by Sage Zhang.
Yeah, Zhang, the freshman, only 6 foot, able to really get up there. As Gudowskis checks off for Gavin Barber, the freshman. Once again, back to serve is Jacob Donahue, the junior out of Shorewood, Wisconsin. And the Knights will have to deal a free ball to the Muskies.
Set on the outside, and that's off the fingertips there. Steele setting it up on the outside. And Weinrich, so athletic. Jones, wow, Jones somehow with a swinging left-handed hook sent that ball over the net. What an effort from Troy Jones. But it's all for naught as the Muskies find the hardwood and earn a point. But wow, can we commend the effort of Troy Jones there, diving into the bleachers, a sliding left-handed hook, sending that ball over.
Absolutely crazy right there, Ryan.
Can we just give the Knights a point for the effort from Jones?
A timeout there for Coach Frederick.
But unfortunately, I don't think it works like that, Ryan.
Unfortunately, it's not.
If we got a point every time we had good effort right now, I mean, there'd be a lot of points out on the board.
I think we'd have to play to maybe 30, 35 points, not 25. So, nonetheless, Troy Jones headed into the cheap seats. Glad he's okay, though, taking a dive into the bleachers. Always kind of scary, especially as a player. Never know.
I mean, if you guys can't see it, but we can see it from our seats. I mean, look at the mat from where he landed. It's still wrinkled up over there. I mean, he even took the mat out. How hard he went into those bleachers. And an impressive effort from Troy Jones there. And that was entertaining. And honestly, Ryan, like in a close game like this in set number 2, some would say a must-win set. Definitely not wanting to go down 2 sets to 0, but if that doesn't spark some momentum, one of your teammates, one of your brothers diving into the bleachers, messing up a mat, putting himself in harm's way to keep the play alive, I don't know what's going to get you fired up.
No, sir, indeed. Not too much else to get you fired up. And Coach Frederick got to have the boys fired up here. 4-point deficit, 4 points to win set number 2 for the Muskies. So huge for the Knights to jump out to a lead. Excuse me, just get some points. And Jacob Donahue with the pink shoes back to serve. And the Knights do just that.
And I'll tell you what, Ryan, we always like to take an opportunity anytime we're calling basketball, but volleyball is a good opportunity here to point out some of our favorite sneakers that are on the court right now. And I'm rocking with those all pink shoes. I mean, I like them. And I like the pink and blue there in the back row too there that we see from the Muskies.
Yeah, always a wide variety here in the men's volleyball section. Obviously, a lot of people rock a lot of colors in the men's basketball, but I have to say, the men's volleyball taking the cake today.
Yeah, and Brookhuizen finding a corner there. Yeah, I like the colorful sneakers there in the back row. I mean, everyone rocking some sweet kicks there for the Muskies in the back row.
And that'll be out a costly serving error for Nick Bolche. 3-point deficit for the Knights. 3 points to win set number 2. Busalachi sends it home. 2-point deficit here for the Knights. Brookhuizen heads off for Dogger and for Lakeland. Dogger back to serve. And a long attack there from Zhang. That'll head out. The Knights within 1 here. Coming down to the wire is set number 2, Dogger. Back to serve once again.
And Dogger back in the corner here. The Knights trying to stay alive here in set number 2.
And a point there for the Knights.
And
4
unhappy
touches.
here are the Muskies, saying that the middle blocker of the Knights crossed that line and was in the net there when he sent that one back. But looks like we're going to have a little conversation over at the officials.
Yeah, Ryan, could have been the Knights reaching over. Obviously, the ball fully on the side of the Muskies. But it looks like we're all knotted up at 22.
It's one of those things where you kind of always wonder, like mound visits in baseball when officials go to check. They're not going to really change the call. It's like, what do you think they're talking about? Like after the game, you think like, hey, like what are we getting on our pizza? Like, you know, I heard we get free pizza provided by the university. Are we going double pepperoni? Are we going meat lovers?
I mean, I think
a veggies guy. Like I always wonder, like what do you think the officials are talking about?
I mean, I think that's a very good conversation topic. And wow, out of the back row was Busalachi, and that one might have been headed out there off of the fingertips of the Knights.
What do you get on your pizza? I think the people at home would be interested.
I mean, I think it kind of depends how many toppings we're going. Are we going to Papa John's one topping, or are we looking more along the lines of, you know, just going for a supreme pizza, meat lovers?
And the Knights are fired up right there with that one. One falling and hitting the floor, bringing this to a 1-point match here in set number 2.
And the Knights clawing their way, sticking with it, doing a really good job.
I'll tell you what, though, I mean, I feel like you got to have some consistency in the order depending on the place. I mean, I'm getting the same thing no matter if I'm doing Papa John's or if I'm doing something like Marco's, wherever it is, Domino's, it's the same order. Wow. And that one's going to be knotted up here at 23 apiece.
And the Muskies with a costly error there. 23s all. And one more timeout from the Muskies. And maybe now we can take a sec to talk about the pizza for the fan. But yeah, Ryan, you know, I mean, it all kind of depends. You got to look at the crust, you got to look at the toppings, and you got to see how you're feeling. And the Knights knotted up with the Muskies here, 23 all. Coach Frederick getting his boys ready, obviously leading the comeback here late in set number 2. Like you said earlier, a must-win set for the Knights. Do not want to go down 2-0. About 40 seconds left of the timeout, but Knights say, nah, we're ready now. We're ready now. They come out with 30 seconds left of the timeout. The Muskies, not so much, still trying to drop a game plan, possibly trying to draw a set piece of play. Huge for whoever's able to get. For the Knights, Gavin Barber back to serve. Outside hitter.
And some chanting here from the Muskies trying to get in the head of Gavin Barber. And a great serve dug out in the back row by the defensive specialist. And a nice middle block right there. And a wonderful tip. Great quarter awareness from Chase Anderson. And the Muskies 24-23. And uh-oh, look out.
Yeah, Anderson doing a really good job there, using the finesse and the middle of the floor there for Calvin. Wide open, nobody near. And that'll head set point for set number 2. For the Muskies to take set number 2 and go up 2-0 on the road. Bagonski serves deep.
And wow, a nice little tip there from Troy Jones, and look out. We're tied at 24.
And folks, we'll be going into extra time. If here we're going to 26 points at least. So, you know, they're for the hourly workers here, like Ryan and Ryan, myself.
Hey, we'll take it. We'll take it. We'll take any additional time on the clock. I mean, maybe I will be getting that appetizer if we go all the way to 5 cents.
And wow, what a read there by Busalachi there. Serving error from the Knights, set point number 2 in set number 2.
And I know it really speaks for itself, but I'll say it. This is not a situation where you can have a service error and get free points out.
Chase Anderson back to serve.
Dogger setting backwards. Uh-oh, we're tied again.
Tied again, trading punches back and forth. Are the Knights and the Muskies, and the Knights know it's crunch time. They got to win this one. Lakeland back to serve. The senior out of Grand Rapids. Powerful serve dug out there. Free ball for the Knights. And points for the Knights. Their first set point of set number 2.
Feel the energy in Van Noord Arena building up right now. The fans are getting into it. Knight Nation's getting into it. And so are these Knights, boosting some momentum here, 26-25. And the Knights with an opportunity even at 1 set apiece and take set number 2.
Yeah, I love the substitution they hear from Coach Frederick. Brooke Heisen, the freshman, massive 6'8" there in the front block. Huge for the Knights.
And it's set back.
Knights.
And the Knights take set number 2. We're even at 1 set apiece here.
Wow.
From
Huge.
Van Noord Arena. The Knights laterally lost the lead and came back back and took set number 2. They're fired up, we're fired up, and so is Venord Arena.
Yeah, huge there for the Knights, able to come back and make a statement. And talk about the momentum, Ryan. Talk about the momentum heading into set number 3. That wasn't just now we're knotted up at 1-1. We're talking about a swing of momentum that is going to allow this Knights to jump out, hopefully, knock on wood here in the booth, to jump out to a lead in set number 3.
And it's getting loud in this arena right now, Ryan. It's hard for me to hear you, and you're sitting right next to me, and that can make a very difficult environment. We've seen some big games here at Venord Arena with some big crowds, and we know how difficult of a place this can be when Knight Nation gets into it, the fans get into it. It can be hard to even hear yourself on the court. So we'll see if Knight Nation, the fans, and everyone can keep that momentum going into set number 3. And if that can boost the Knights here, be that 7th man per se out there on the court.
Yeah, 7th man indeed. And just looking at the percentages, the Knights completely switching their hitting percentage around from the negatives to the positives, still hitting at that 100, but nonetheless way better than set number 1. The Muskies, though, dropping down to 222 in the attack column and in the service. Both teams still atrocious. 840 for the Muskies, 800 for the Knights. You just can't have it.
Yeah, but I will say props to the Knights for making an adjustment. Although the numbers aren't pretty on the stat sheet, and although the numbers aren't exactly ideal or what you want to see, and isn't something that's going to jump off the page at head coach Spencer Frederick of the Knights, it's going to make him overjoyed and happy and, hey, this is good volleyball we're playing. It's an adjustment. It's a trend in the right direction. And now we're knotted up at a set apiece. We have at least 2 more sets to go, and we could be going all the way to a 5-set match here, and maybe I will get that appetizer after all, the way that we're going to be on the clock here tonight if this continues, this back and forth action that we're seeing from Venord.
Yeah, huge right there. And looking back down to the attacks, Knights with 15 kills to 5 errors. Wow, what a difference between 9 kills, 6 kills to 9 errors in set number 1, and hitting in set number 2 at a 244 percentage. 30 seconds left to break, but the Knights will head out there early once again. Parker Steele waiting to check in, the libero for the Knights. The Lakeland Muskies taking a little bit longer, trying to find a way to get some of that momentum back, but the Knights gotta find a way to continue that momentum out. As the Knights on the floor, Lakeland, Barber, Nichols, Dogger, Boltje, and Jones. Both liberos, Steele and Everts, looking to check in for their respective squads. Steele, the junior, Everts, the senior. And we'll get things going as Davis Trawler heads off for the Muskies and Boltje for the Knights. Dogger back to serve here in this one to start set number 3. And Ryan and I talked about it in the middle of set number 2. That set number 2, such a huge set to win. Totally knotted up now, 0-0, 1-1 in terms of the set. Dogger gets set number 3 going. The Muskies setting Busalachi. Dogger, Lakeland, blocked by Busalachi. Once again, some miscommunication. Dogger able to get it out to the outside hitter. And some finesse, free ball, Dogger, steal. Lakeland, finesse, no.
A nice scoop slide right there to keep that ball off the hardwood. Steele knocks it up. Dogger sitting behind him, trying to get it to Troy Jones in the back row, but Jones unable to get a good hand on it, and it's going to be a Muskie point, and back to serve for the Muskies will be Chase Anderson. Anderson's serve is up and it is over. Dug out there in the back row. Dogger setting it up in the middle. Handled nicely by the defensive specialist of the Muskies. Steele able to get a fingertip on it. Dogger setting it up to the outside. Dug out there by Jones. Dogger. And meeting up above the net on the outside, but it's going to be an in the net violation called against number 9, Gabriel Laughlin, getting a little too handsy there around the net. 2-0 now.
And the Muskies jumping out to an early lead, and looking on the broadcast here, the Knights leading 27-2. I wish.
Yeah, we wish the stat sheet in the scorebook said the same tale as the broadcast, but unfortunately it does not. But the Knights are able to get a point back, as back to serve will be number 3, Gavin Barber.
Yeah, the Knights able to steal a free one back there. 2-1. Let's see if the Knights can use some of that momentum from the end of set number 2.
Dug out there in the back row by the Muskies. Kind of dancing around the net. That's got to be 4 hits. Barber dug out there in the back row. And a powerful swing in the middle. Unable to handle it. In the back row were the Knights, and that's going to be a point. And back to serve here for Lakeland is going to be Ben Buscolacci. Nice dig there in the back by Jones. And that's going to be out. A Calvin point. And Ryan, we're kind of starting to see, as we're getting into the later sets now, some of these balls, I mean, the Muskies' placement in set number 1 was perfect, and we kind of saw that start to fade in the offensive end for them in set number 2, but they were placing balls in the back corner by a matter of maybe even centimeters, not inches. But here, just a little bit long, but there's nothing long about that one. A powerful swing that time, unhandleable in the back row by the Knights, and that's going to be another point for the Muskies. Some energy coming off the defensive specialist for the Muskies, and the serve is up. It is over. Dug out by Jones in the back row. Dogger setting it back to Jones and through the outside block. And I mean, we've seen the Knights struggling with this outside block, but that's one adjustment to make. Well, can't go over it, can't go around it. Let's go through it.
Yeah, Ryan, the Knights doing a really good job here, and it's really clear that it's going to be a dogfight here the rest of the way. The Knights knotted up here at 4 as Brooke Heisen and Ezekiel Jalen head in for the Knights, both freshmen, looking to break things open in set number 3.
A nice diving play there by the back row of the Muskies to keep it alive. Now it's going to be a scramble and a free ball opportunity here for the Muskies. Up against the net, set on the outside, scrambling to keep it up. Jones sends it over. What an effort from the Knights. Scrambling again are the Knights. Jones gets it over. Opportunity, really good one for the Muskies with the Knights out of position, but they're unable to take advantage as that swing from the middle is just a little bit wide, and the Knights take their first lead here of set number 3.
And the hustle pays off there, Ryan. Huge mistake there from the Muskies. Wide open was the court over on that far side, but not able to hit it just out. Finesse try rejected by the Knights. Free ball here.
Backward set. And into the net. It goes. The Muskies said no, no, no. And I just realized something. I mean, this is a Calvin broadcast, but man, we're wearing some tropical colors. You're rocking the pink over here. I'm rocking the blue. Neither of us in Calvin maroon and gold. I picked a bad day to wear the color blue. I mean, I'm wearing musky blue over here. I didn't realize they're gonna have such a sweet blue logo. I would have maybe picked a different wardrobe choice over here, but nonetheless, back to serve is gonna be Sage Jung.
Yeah, let's also talk about the similarity of these jerseys, Ryan. Both teams, obviously the blue and the maroon different respectively, but really almost the same color of gold on both of their jerseys on the stripe, down both of the sides, and the Muskies jumping out 7-5. Your lead now is our side official over here, dodging the ball heading his way and makes the call.
Dug out there in the back row by Steele in the middle. Ball's deflected out. And a Calvin point, 7-6 now.
And the Knights right back in it here as Bolche gets the kill from that one. Troy Jones, freshman out of Sparta, back to serve.
And the telltale here in this match might just be what team's able to jump out to a run, as Troy Jones served that one with some conviction. A nice top spin that split the gap, but split the gap just a little bit too far. That's out, and it's going to be a service error rather than an ace.
And what would have been out, saved once again by the Knights. And not saved for long, the Muskies. 3-point lead early in set number 3.
Serve is up, and it is out. Another service error. I mean, back and forth. Service error, service error, service error.
Yeah, that one was way gone out of the back there from number 5, Eli Weinrich. As Nick Bolche back to serve.
Set up in the middle.
And middle
set
block.
Back. A nice little middle block from the Knights.
And Barber picks up his first block of the evening. And really clear, Ryan, as we enter the middle of set number 3.
And a nice tip try there.
Who the Muskies are going to. It's number 6, Busalachi, 8 kills on the evening.
Backward set, dug out by Jones. And swung on powerfully from Gavin Barber, but just a little bit too far. And it comes down to it, Ryan. I mean, we've seen a lot of length here from both teams, whether it's on the serves, whether it's on the swings. When do you make an adjustment?
All right, the Knights looked really good in that set number 2, just missing it a little bit again in the set number 3. So would not be surprised if we see a Coach Frederick timeout anytime soon, but nonetheless, that's a timeout in and of itself. That's the momentum killer right there, as Brookhuizen sends it home as Dogger and Lakeland check in for Brookhuizen and for Jalen.
And that's an adjustment right there in itself.
Huge out of the 6'8" freshman. Out of Kalamazoo, now Dogger back to serve. And free ball here for the Knights. Dogger steal. Lakeland sent home. And Zhang been very quiet in the back half of that set number 2 and early here in set number 3. Not too much activity out of the southpaw. And way gone, almost hitting some spectators there.
That one almost made its way after it bounced over there in the student section to the upper deck here in the upper seating at Van Arena. There was some power behind that one. Not a lot of accuracy, but there was some power.
I would really be intrigued if we could ever get one into the suites up here at Calvin University. It would take a lot of power and a lot of miss.
It would take a lot of power and something going terribly wrong as the Knights pick up another point and take the lead here. A lead change as the Knights go up 1 now.
I believe their first lead of set number 3. Number 1, Connor Lewis, the freshman, entering in now for Sage Zhang. I believe Lewis's first appearance of this one. Gavin Barber back to serve. And Ryan, the Knights just look so much more comfortable from the serving line these past 2 sets.
Yeah, looking a lot more comfortable, hitting their spots. And maybe that's just it. Maybe taking more of a spot serve approach versus just always the power and, like we said, a lot of long misses.
Busalachi, we might get that sweet style entrance
that one was on its way to the upper deck, but that one might have made it to the suites. I mean, we might be getting our suite. I mean, we want to put $10 on it, right?
Man. And now the bench for the Muskies yelling that they want it right there, and they sure get their wish. as that one heads out the back there for an ace. Connor Nichols, the freshman out of Caldwell, Idaho, serve once again. Again, messing up the receive from the Muskies.
And Dogger.
And just
that
another
one,
free ball.
Unable to be handled. Got through the block and found the floor.
The Knights just not able to get in system quick enough. Gives the Muskies a free ball. And really, the Muskies have been really efficient so far with those free balls that the Knights have given them.
And we're knotted up here at 14. Back to serve is Jacob Donahue.
And rising. Jalen, a little knuckleball. Ooh, filthy.
That was one of those short hops. I mean, making a baseball reference right there. You don't know, am I going to come get it? Is it going to come to me? What do I do?
Yeah, a little tweener there. Is it just diving, hitting the floor right before the Muskies. Knights with a 2-point lead. Jalen back to serve once again. Muskies receiving this one. And trying the finesse. Nick Bolche. Nuh-uh, not in my house. Sends it right back. No finesse in here.
They've got me clapping my hands over here in the booth, Ryan. I'm excited. These Knights are going on a run.
Yeah, the Knights have got to stay on this rhythm, got to stay on this run. Jalen served there. Again, keeping the Muskies off their feet, but nonetheless, a powerful swing there.
And a fantastic try from Parker Steele just to muster something. But, I mean, he tried to get in front of that ball, but that ball took him with it. He was so hard.
Yeah, a lot of force behind that one. A lot of Newtons coming at you. Knights trying to get it there on the slide. And Nick Bolche adds to his count, chalk it up on the board, 7 kills on the night.
These Knights look good right now offensively, Ryan. They're in system, they're getting to their spots, and then they're executing.
Now, Ryan, knock on some wood for me.
I hope you guys could hear me. I not only knocked, I pounded on that wood. And a good block there. But just out.
And maybe some of that announcer jinx kind of
that was
face.
defense, not offense. That was off of an outside block. That was not. That was no announcer jinx. I usually claim it. If it's me, I'll take hand up accountability. But that one, I'm not claiming. I'll take an announcer jinx right there, and I'll take 19-16, another night point.
And just another missed opportunity for the Muskies. Near perfect in set number 1, just continuing to make those mental mistakes. It just seems like the Muskies got tired too early, and the Knights taking it home. Bolche sends it over, trying some finesse. Knights not allowing that one. And a point there, Gavin Barber in the net. And the Muskies within 2. Parker Steele comes back in for Nick Bolche. Surprised no timeouts from either of these squads so far. Joe Boganski, the outside hitter, Hartford alum, back to serve for the Muskies.
And a service error again. And a couple service errors here costly make a big difference. I mean, when we're getting down to the stretch here, 20-17 here in set number 3, and all these points matter. And anytime you're handing away free points due to service errors, that's not good in a tight match like this.
And the Knights will take it. The Knights will take your free points when you want to give them to us. And 20-17 is your lead. The Knights leading by 3. Dogger back to serve. Another full rotation as Dogger, the starting server for the Knights.
And that one went right through the fingertips of the defensive specialist of the Muskies. Having a little trouble in a collision between Steele and Barber, and that's going to be out. A little bit long. Knights extend that lead. No, they're saying fingertips.
Fingertips, possibly? Fingertips off of Barber. And Coach Frederick just saying, wipe it clean.
A lot of confusion on the floor. The phantom fingertip.
And a slide there from Nichols. Block from Nichols and Lakeland.
And Jones getting on the floor, keeping it alive. And Barber!
Wow, the Knights are rolling.
Let's go, 21-18 now.
As Barber picks up his third kill and a timeout for the Muskies, wondering when it was gonna come. And it does. 4 points away from set number 3 are the Knights. And if you're Coach Frederick, what are you saying, Ryan? Obviously the Knights are firing on all cylinders, still finding a few of those mental mistakes, but just hitting at such a higher percentage.
And I think it's simple. What I say is keep it going.
Yeah, the Muskies got to figure something out. I want to see the stat sheet just on set number 3, because they have had to have given the Knights 6+ free points on just straight serving errors.
Yeah, giving away way too many free ones. And like we see here, I mean, the Muskies are pretty much helping the Knights. They help the Knights get into their offensive rhythm. They're like, hey, you're struggling, you're making a few mistakes. We'll help you out. We'll give you some service errors. And we'll get you going. We'll say, hey, like, we can keep you in this game with the mistakes you're making. And gave the Knights maybe a little bit too much time to figure it out. So we'll see. Don't want to speak too soon. Knocking on that wood. Appreciate it, Ryan. But we'll see if the Knights can continue this good offensive play.
And one thing that the Knights have been really good at in these past 2 sets is keeping the Muskies off their toes. They have been so much better at serving. They have not been able to get in system, get hits consistently, and the Knights are doing a great job at that, limiting the attack from the Muskies and really improving that attack for themselves. Just complete 180 from that first set, looking to take a commanding lead here in this one as Gavin Barber back to serve. Received well from the Muskies.
And into the net. And that's going to be another point. The Calvin Knights extending their lead to 4 here in set number 3.
And the freshman will head off. Connor Lewis there as Sage Jung, the freshman out of Colorado, heads back in. Been really quiet, like we mentioned in set number 2 and 3. Was very active in set number 1. As Barber serve, very topspin heavy, and that'll be out.
And another Calvin point. Extends the lead to 5 now.
And Knights lead by 5, huge. Gavin Barber on a serving run, just able to keep the Lakeland Muskies off their toes enough.
And these Muskies need to make an adjustment on the offensive end. And Barber with a service error, giving a point back.
And Ryan, not the end of the world when you're up by 5, but still takes a chip out of you.
Yeah, anytime you're coming down to the wire, though, points are a premium and not something you want to give away.
Busalachi back to serve. And a serving error for him, so trading back service errors.
Set point.
Set point number 1 of set number 3 for the Knights.
And the Knights now can play a little bit of defensive volleyball, but honestly, at this rate, just do your job and make the Muskies make the mistake for you.
And Ian Bird coming in to check in to serve for the Knights. So really intrigued to see what Coach Frederick has up his sleeve with this one. Have not seen the freshman so far, but have got to guess he's got some sort of specialty in serving.
The freshman from Lakewood, California, coming in a big spot here for the Knights. A lot of trust from Coach Frederick.
Wow!
And a powerful serve to the back corner.
And Parker still head back in. Nonetheless, a powerful serve there from Ian Bird. Knights still lead by 4, set point number 2. Jacob Donahue back to serve.
Wow! Lovely! Calvin Knights taking set number 3. And they're up 2-1 here in the match from Benoit Arena on all the boxes here from Benoit Arena. But one thing we couldn't remember, I don't know, was the Lakeland Muskies for whatever reason that was. I think my just pure joy and excitement that the Knights took set number 3 was just overflowing.
And Ryan, I think we got to go back to that pizza thing real quick. Okay, Imagine one topping for the rest of your life you can ever have on pizza. What is that topping?
Does cheese count?
Cheese does not count.
I've got bread, I've got sauce, and I've got
cheese. What topping do you choose?
Okay, so it's a difficult question.
See, I see your girlfriend staring at you, so this choice will affect you and your girlfriend for the future. So I think you need to choose very wisely.
I feel like you have to go with pepperoni. I feel like if you're going, I think it's pepperoni and green pepper. It's pepperoni, green pepper, onion. It's pepperoni sausage. It's the foundation is pepperoni. The pizza is built on pepperoni, and I feel like if you just go with another additional topping, it's just wrong. It's all wrong from there. It's built on the basis of pepperoni. You can't have meat lovers without pepperoni. You can't have pepperoni, green pepper, and onion without pepperoni.
And Ryan, I totally agree with you, but I see your girlfriend shaking her head, so wrong answer, Steve. That one's not on the board here today.
It's all right. I'll get in trouble about it later, but I'll tell you what, nothing a little Texas Roadhouse can't make up for. And the way we're on the clock here, I mean, we might end up with set number 5 if the Muskies can pull it out, and I'll be able to afford that appetizer.
Yeah, for sure, Ryan, but honestly, hoping for a set number 4, and that's it for the Knights to continue rolling here. About a minute left of the break. Knights usually come out about 30 seconds early. Looking at this stat sheet, the Knights hitting down a little bit to that .036 in set number 3 on the game, just nearing the 100 attack percentage, and Lakeland way down, .049 in set number 3. So the Knights continuing to kind of dominate in these past 2 sets, and looking at it, a total of 14 errors on the match, 6 total in set number 3 for the Lakeland Muskies. And the Knights only 1 in set number 3, so huge in the serving error aspect.
And we're ready. The Knights are on the floor early. Excited to get back out there. They're dancing, they're having a good time. The energy is high, it's loud, it's bumping the tune. Some Justin Timberlake, can't stop the feeling. Going crazy.
Yeah, Ryan, I mean, it's huge. You
still waiting for YMCA?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, we've been through 3 full sets now. I don't know if we're going to get a YMCA. I don't
know who I need to talk to make the sound request. Usually there's someone sitting right to your left that is on aux, but I don't know who's on aux today where I can request my YMCA. You know, I get down here at Vanorder Arena. You'll see me on the screen. Here I am at the bottom with my hands up. YMCA. I want it.
And Ryan's favorite song here.
Little JT never hurt nobody, but I can't stop that feeling when YMCA's on.
Could we possibly be seeing a YMCA walk-up song for Ryan Sherrard in the spring?
You know, it's good, but I think a little distracting. You know, I think when I'm going to the box, getting ready to hit, I can't be going YMCA. You know, I need to really just be able to lock in, focus in. I mean,
I think you'd be too distracted.
I think so too.
And now set number 4 set to kick off. Chase Anderson, the junior, set back to serve.
Steele setting it up, and a nice swing from Barber.
And a bit of carry there from Zhang, but nonetheless.
And a possible tip. I mean, someone's calling for the fingertips, and they got the tip call. It's 1-0 Calvin here in set number 4, and that offensive run is continuing as Dogger's back to serve for the Knights.
Huge for the Knights to step out to that early lead, Ryan. And we talked about it in set number 1. There was no energy out of this Knights squad. There was no excitement. There was no fun. Completely different as we saw the dancing, we saw the music, and the Knights take a 2-0 lead. It looked like a completely different squad from set number 1 to the rest of this game, and it's shown here today. The Knights jump out to an early 2-0 lead.
And we said it. We said there's a lot of time for the Knights to make adjustments, and they made them, so props to them. We'll see if they can continue to make them as they go. And it's going to be another point for the Knights. 3-0 now.
A lift there, and Ryan, if the Knights continue on this run, the Muskies might be forced to use one of their timeouts really early on. They really look totally discombobulated out there on the floor right now. Dogger back to serve. Finally, the The Muskies put up a .31 year score as
Good
Donahue.
start. A good momentum builder. I mean, we saw the momentum build from set 2 to set 3 for the Knights. And props to them to carry it into set number 4. Good start. Not losing that momentum, going to the huddle and outside. And it's in, finding the corner. Nice setup and swing from Gabriel Laughlin.
Yeah, Gabe Laughlin there doing a great job there. I believe his 8th kill on the evening. So 8 kills, 1 block out of Laughlin. It's Barber back to serve. Serving error for the Knights, and one of those killers here. 2 points lead as Donahue heads back to the service line.
Steal. Dogger.
And just long there from Gavin Barber, the freshman. Knights need to limit the run here.
YMCA. Just caught in my head now. You had to do that to me, Ryan. See, that's part of the reason why I don't think I can make it the walk-up song, is if I have to hear that 5 times a day. Excuse me, let me rephrase as the Muskies knot this one up at 4. If I get and receive the wonderful opportunity to hear the song YMCA 4 times a baseball game, 8 times a doubleheader, I think I might drive myself crazy with the amount that thing's stuck in my head. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm a firm believer there's never a wrong time to crank out YMCA, except for maybe a funeral. But I will say, I think there's an amount of times that you can play YMCA before it's like, oh my gosh, please turn this off. And I think 8 to 10 might be pushing that limit.
It might be just a little bit as the Lakeland Muskies take their first lead, a set number 3, getting on a run. And trying to kick it there was Zhang, playing a little soccer.
Good thing Coach Ottenhoff ain't here. You might have a new recruit transferring over to play some soccer. I mean, we love doing Calvin women's soccer games here, Calvin men's soccer games here. We love soccer, we love volleyball. It's really cool, Ryan, the variety of sports that we've gotten to broadcast in our 2-year tenure here as sports broadcasters in the sports information department, as that one's going to be out. And
yeah, Ryan,
for the Knights.
You never know. Coach Sodders could be up here somewhere lurking, ready for new talent, as I'm sure getting the boys ready for the 2025 season. Look to go back to back MIAA tournament and regular season champions.
And I think there might be some more backs to backs. I mean, even on that list. I mean, Coach Sodders' incredible success here at Calvin University. And talk about success, Troy Jones on the outside. Kaboom!
Troy Jones, powerful. Only standing at 6'4", but really getting up above the net.
I'll tell you what,
a vertical ball.
Only 6'4", Ryan. I'll take 6 feet 4 inches any day. Give me one day at 6'4". I want to see what the weather's like up there.
Yeah, for sure, Ryan. But you got guys like Nick Boltge at 6'7", and a few other Knights 6'8", and 6'4" becomes a little less tall. And that one off the hands of Laughlin and Boltge, and that'll head out. The Muskies sticking within 1. Zhang checks back in for Colin Kinney.
And 7-6 now, the Muskies.
Zhang back to serve, the southpaw. A lot of top spin curve on his ball. Knight's got to be careful.
You talk about that top spin curve as it did, but Jones is able to handle it and finding the hardwood, and no soccer recruits there, is unable to kick it up. But a nice effort nonetheless.
And Brooke Heisen checks in. There's the 6'8" talent we've been talking about, and boy, does he get above the net.
Gets above the net indeed, but Ezekiel Jalen now back to serve. The defensive specialist for the Muskies, and almost a collision there. That was close. But getting up and putting it down is Levi Everts. Nice play by him on the outside. 8-7, Kelvin still up by 1.
Yeah, able to block the attempt from Brookhausen.
And it's going to be a substitution now, as checking off will be Connor Lewis, and checking back in will be Buscalacci. Dug out there by Steele. over into the middle block. Set backwards, and talk about a powerful swing, flying in the air. He was up there was Sage Jung.
And Jung there, we talked about it, been quiet sets number 2, 3, finally coming alive here in set number 4, similar to what we saw in set number 1, and we're knotted at 8.
And a little bit of an ugly try in the back row there to receive from Bar. And back to serve is going to be Everts. And a nice dodge attempt there.
A little bit of the Matrix reenactment there.
Yeah, impressive. Impressive maneuvering of the body from Jake Davidson. I mean, you played in a volleyball, or excuse me, a dodgeball tournament last night at Calvin University. We hosted a dodgeball tournament for students for a $300 prize. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, you will not be coming to the Texas Roadhouse with me tonight because you don't have money because you didn't win. But if you did, it would have been great. It would have been a fun trip. But I'll catch you maybe next time. But man, maybe you needed Jake Davidson on your dodgeball team last night, and you could be heading to the Roadhouse with me. The way he was able to maneuver and get out of the way of that thing.
Yeah, I know. I mean, $300 split between 6 guys. I mean, $50. I could get anything.
You could have gotten the appetizer and maybe even a beverage.
I could have gotten anything. I could have gotten
yourself a Coke, some cheese fries. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we can go off to Crumble Cookie after. I mean, there's a lot of opportunities. They're endless.
You know, I still do have the $400 from the pitch up still sitting in the bank account.
That was a fun competition we also had for students through the Calvin Startup Garage and Entrepreneurship Club for students at Calvin University who are pursuing business and entrepreneurship, and an opportunity for students to create a 2-minute elevator pitch on a hypothetical business or a business they're working on of their choice to compete for a $1,000, $800, $400, and I believe $200 cash prize, as well as a variety of gift cards and other fun prizes that were handed out at the night. And Ryan, you gave quite the speech that earned you some cash. So maybe you can attend the Roadhouse between this going into 4, possibly 5 sets here, and maybe payday will come early, and I'll see you at the Roadhouse.
Yeah, knock on wood there, and the Knights pick up a point on a violation there and just kind of trade freebies as Nick Bolche sends that one out for a serving error.
And we're tied up at 12 here, as checking in for the Muskies is Colin Kenny, and taking a seat after some very, very violent swings of Sage Jung, some impressive flying through the air antics. He's got to understand this is a no-fly zone, goodness.
Wow, save there from the Muskies.
And hitting the official, I mean, I think there's no argument there when you hit the official standing out of bounds whether or not that one was in. Yeah, just a little bit too long.
Unfortunately,
you do not want him on your dodgeball team, I'll tell you that much.
Unfortunately, when your leg is the line and you hit halfway up the shin, it's probably out.
That is confirmation that you want Jake Davidson. You know, he can get out of the way, and he can also he's got the dodge down, but he's also got the accuracy to hit people. I mean, you know, you don't want the official, but you want Jake Davidson on your dodgeball team next year, and then you'll earn a $300 cash prize for that too.
Yeah.
I'm sure Jake Davidson then can join us at the Roadhouse with his $50.
Wow.
With conviction.
And Gabe Laughlin getting the block there, sending that one back, and getting the Knights back in the lead, 14-13 in the 4th. Dogger serve, good once again. Middle blockers able to fight for this one. Knights able to keep it up. And just off the antenna there is the hit from Jake Davidson.
Yeah, and we're knotted at 14 apiece, and this is coming down to the wire. I mean, we're at that spot, 14-14, and we talk about it all the time. It's so important to get out on a run. We'll see which team can do it. It's been the Knights the past 2 sets, and it was the Muskies in set number 1. So the Muskies here fighting to stay alive and force a set number 5. The Knights wanting to go home early with a win. And I mean, whatever works, I guess, just throw it up in the middle and have them miscommunicate. And that'll be probably the softest point we've seen here today. We've seen a lot of power, but that time going to the finesses. Back to serve will be your future dodgeball teammate, Jake Davidson.
Yeah, Ryan, the Muskies Nobody wanting to take responsibility for that one, just letting that one fall in the hardwood. And nonetheless, getting back is Chase Anderson, sending that one home very emphatically.
15-15 here, and back to serve is Jacob Donahue, and we've seen him play good defense, good offense out of that middle. Dogger. Fingertips here. It's a battle. Might have been a lift, but somehow not. I mean, impressive. And going back to the finesse approach is Troy Jones. I mean, we've seen such a good variety from Troy Jones, whether he goes to the power to the finesse on the serve and the power of the finesse on the swing, diving into bleachers. A fantastic performance here from Troy Jones, and they've been able to ride his hot hand a little bit here tonight.
Yeah, doing a good job. Blocked there again by Troy Jones, and just sneaking in front of the net there.
And I mean, Troy Jones' presence right there on the block. I mean, I'm gonna have to tell him good game when I see him Monday in our geography class. I have geography with him from 1:30 to 2:35.
And a very advanced class, geography. Very interesting. Possibly in the science building as well.
Oh yeah, a rare time that you'll catch me. It's actually North Hall, which I appreciate you informing me last week, is apparently the math building. But yeah, if you want to see me rarely in the science and math, STEM buildings, you'll see me there for geography, 1:30 to 2:35, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. Quite an interesting course that Troy Jones and I are both a part of.
Yeah, Ryan, first semester here at Calvin, was taking my Calc 2 final in the basement of North Hall and walked into a geography room. So I wasn't aware until that point that North Hall was also a geography building, but nonetheless, got some geography classes there in the basement.
We got our maps down there, that is for sure. Finding out where things are as Dogger in the back row. Also need to find out where that ball landed. That ball ended up in the back corner with some authority.
An 18-16, your score. The Knights looking to put things away here early, leading 2-1. Ezekiel Jalen back to serve. Ryan having a dance party here in the booth.
I'm getting excited, man. We're going down to the wire. It's some fun volleyball action here. Jones going up on that block, and on the outside, and coming up clutch is Davis Troller. You know, we saw him try to kick that ball up a couple times and miss, so I think it's safe to say after a swing like that, he'll be sticking to volleyball. Coach Sodders ain't getting him to come play soccer here.
No, sir, indeed.
Dug out in the back row, set behind it. Oh my goodness, hit a fan on that one. I would say it's safe to say that one was a little off.
Just a little bit off on the slide play there by Nick Bolche, but been working all day. The first one I haven't seen successful.
You know, that reminds me of back in gym class. We talked about both of our wonderful gym class volleyball careers as the Muskies take a lead for the first time in quite some time here, 19-18. We played a fun game called Monster Volleyball where we'd close half the gym, we'd set up a net that extended from wall to wall, and we would just let it bounce and we would smash that thing. And that reminded me there, as coming up clutch yet again is my geography buddy, my partner in crime, Troy Jones.
And Troy Jones, a lot of finesse there and hitting the topspin of that one. Been hitting powerful all day in the past two. Very finesse. The Muskies just not ready for it. 19 all as he's back to serve.
And an ace! We talked about the power. We talked about the finesse. Troy Jones, ladies and gentlemen, has it all.
Huge there as a timeout for the Muskies. And the Knights are within 5 from putting this one away.
And Troy Jones there with an ace. Serving it just in front. I mean, I think that was one of those ones where kind of that line drive with some topspin, back pedal come in. What do I do? Oh no, it hit the hardwood there for an ace. 20-19. The Calvin Knights lead here from Van Noord Arena on a Saturday. And man, Ryan, it's been such a fun volleyball game to call, to watch. A lot of action, a lot of power, a lot of mishaps. Our fair share of mishaps and errors. But what do you think if you're the head coach of the Lakeland University Muskies right now? You're telling your squad?
you know, just keep fighting. They've been doing a really good job in this fourth set of sticking with the Knights and doing a good job of staying in system. Still having those serving errors. It's really been killing them. They're still down one, but nonetheless, having a few good opportunities at the net and being able to get through this Knights front block. And Ryan, if I'm the coach of the Muskies, I'm putting on a windbreaker or something because it's getting cold here in Van Noord.
And he's wearing shorts. He's like you. I'll tell you what, me and Ryan are pretty good friends off the broadcast, and it doesn't matter. I mean, from Indiana too doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, it'd make one thing if you're from Alaska or somewhere cold, or Antarctica or the North Pole, for goodness sakes. It doesn't matter if it's 75 degrees and sunny or if it's -2 degrees like it was during that winter weather advisory. You'll catch Ryan running around in shorts and a t-shirt. I mean, I swear you're just warm-blooded or something.
I draw the line around 20 degrees for the shorts. After 20 degrees, the wind gets a little chilly on the legs. So the chicken legs get a little bit chilly. So now I'll knot it up at 20 though.
I don't know how you do it because I'm always cold. I mean, I'm in sweatpants and a t-shirt, sitting in a nicely ventilated arena right now with air conditioning and heat, and I'm still got goosebumps because of how cold I am. It might be maybe because I'm a little bit nervous here as we're tied up 20-20 in set number 4 of this matchup, wanting the Knights to pull out the victory, but a little bit of pinball, and I don't know how it happened, but it happened, and somehow the ball ended up over there, and we have a Knights point, 21-20.
Yeah, we had Parker Steele on the floor, almost over the line there, underneath the net, and next thing you know, headed out. The Knights by 1, though. And a serving error for the Knights.
And when you're at the place where the Knights are right now, I mean, this is not the time for service errors. Maybe getting a little bit redundant talking about service error after service error after service error, but really the one area where we've seen spurts of good from the Knights, of getting better, but still an area where they need to clean up if they want to be able to close out and execute volleyball matches.
Yeah, they got to execute here. The Muskies up by 1 right now. The Knights have got to find a way to get rolling here. Huge if they can take this set and take this match.
Set backwards.
As Brookhuizen gets it sent back his way, the Knights.
And a smart timeout there by Coach.
Yeah, Coach Frederick a little bit frustrated there. His team a little bit flat-footed off of the serving error, and then really just getting bodied at the net by the Muskies, now within 2 of sending this one to the 5th set. About a minute left of our break here, and Coach Frederick already getting the boys out there ready to go, looking for another comeback of similarity to set number 2, where the Knights came back a few points after a timeout.
I'll tell you what, Ryan, my belly's starting to growl. I'm starting to get hungry for dinner. Making our trip over there to the Texas Roadhouse. These Knights got to figure it out here and take it in set number 4.
Maybe Ryan will just walk out after set number 4 anyway. Just head out to the Roadhouse.
Too bad I can't DoorDash Texas Roadhouse here. I would be in heaven, man, if I could just sit here and talk to you guys, eat a nice, delicious plate at Texas Roadhouse. Maybe that's what I gotta start doing. Maybe Biggie's, Anna's house, maybe they'll start delivering for us the amount of, we can do a live taste test for them. You know, we'll talk to Timmer, our athletic director, Dr. Timmer here. We'll talk to Dr. Timmer and we'll see what we can do. Maybe we can get a live taste test on the broadcast from one of our sponsors. That would be absolutely delectable. Big vocab word for me right there.
Yeah, we might have to turn off the mics for a little bit, though. I don't know if the users at home want us our munching sounds while they're trying to watch the game.
And some finesse there from the Knights as Brookhuizen finds the hardwood.
Yeah, Brookhuizen doing a really good job there, the Kalamazoo native. Finesse all the way as he gets another kill, chalking it up on the board. Dogger back to serve.
And Dogger. And the Muskies ready awaiting.
Dogger, a very consistent serve.
And look out. It's set point.
Busalachi back to serve, but Coach Frederick will take another timeout, just trying to
It's
delay
do or
it.
die.
Do or die, but the Knights have a little bit of opportunity. They can go into that 5th set. But obviously, if you're Coach Spencer Frederick, you want to put them away fast. But a little bit of leeway nonetheless, as Knights down by 2, 22 to 24. And the first set for the Muskies coming up. Really wonder, Ryan, if this Knights squad putting on some sort of a play, some sort of a formation change, some sort of a serve spot that they want to go to. A very quick timeout there from Coach Frederick, and the Muskies, on the other hand, are fired up. Busalachi back to serve for the Muskies. Very powerful server, but the last time we saw him back there, he sent one into the cheap seats. And an ace, nonetheless, making up for the last service error. And we will have set number 5 as the official blowing off very early. As now I have a volleyball here in the booth. I don't know, we got a volleyball hand delivered to us over here.
You think they'll let me keep it? I mean, I kind of like this thing.
I don't know, Busalachi just came over and handed me the volleyball. But
hey, maybe I can work on my skills a little bit. You guys will see me on the volleyball floor. I mean, I talk a big game of Iron Man and gym class. Maybe if I work with Coach Frederick a little bit, he can get my skills up to par so I can get out there on the hardwood. Maybe get an extra jersey. Can I go check in for set number 5?
I don't know, Ryan. I think you might be a little bit. I mean, you might be a little bit short. Maybe
I'll serve it granny style. I'll get it over there. No service errors for me.
maybe you can check in as a defensive specialist, but I don't know if they're going to put you up at the net. Maybe a little bit too short.
I'll tell you what you don't want me playing defense. Yeah, I'm getting out of the way. I'm too pretty. All right,
okay,
I'm going to be honest. I'm too pretty, and like you mentioned, the girlfriend sitting here next to me. I think she'd be upset if I got in the way and messed up my beautiful smile. So,
very, very true, Ryan, and a long break for here between sets number 4 and 5. Looking forward, about a 2.5 minute break.
All right, you know what? I think it's only appropriate that I ask you the same question you asked me in between the last break. The do or die pizza topping. As we're going into a set that's for all the marbles, all the glory, everything that is important. What's your answer?
You know
what is the pizza topping that you would choose if the world was ending and you could only have one pizza topping for the rest of your life?
See, I don't want to be generic. I would probably go with sausage, to be honest. I would go sausage. I'm more of a sausage than a roni guy.
And you judged me for pepperoni.
I wanted to be different. I wanted to be different. I wanted to say olives. I'm a big olive lover on
that is
pizza.
Horrible.
It's a horrible take. But
just stop talking.
Olives alone is
do
just
yourself
horrible.
a favor. The people are gonna mute you. Is there a way to mute this guy's mic?
I don't know.
I'm gonna mute. I'm gonna hit this red button and mute you.
I need you guys at home to try. Okay, Domino's.
No,
a sausage
don't do it.
And olive pizza. And your girlfriend is shaking her head. Yes.
No.
You gotta try that. Domino's sausage and olive change your life.
She also would eat that with Chipotle ranch. Just because he can do
That's okay.
doesn't mean it's
right. That's okay.
No. There will never be. Here's what I'm saying. We talk about all of our free food, our free samples. You know, if it's ever a sausage and olive pizza, not happening.
I'll get you to try one time. Maybe one time for the one time.
No. You know, I'll tell you what. If you purchase the pizza and the Knights pull it out here, maybe, just maybe, you'll get me to try the sausage and olive pizza. And we'll report back our next men's volleyball broadcast what I think. But I can guarantee you the results are not going to be positive.
Guaranteed, 100% guarantee there. And we have about 30 seconds left, both of these teams coming out. We just want to thank you guys at home for listening to us, keeping up with our antics here in the booth. We want to thank you, everybody who makes it possible, our camera crew, the statisticians, everybody running it back home in the video department over there in the business building. Just everybody who makes it possible in the sports information department for us to be here in the booth. And once again, for you guys at home listening to our antics, letting us bring Calvin Volleyball to you guys there at home.
We apologize for the dramatic delivery, but we're just two guys in the booth having some fun, excited for set number 5 here from Van Noord Arena. Thank you for spending your Saturday evening with us as we're all set, ready to go for some Calvin Knight volleyball. You know, we can see a couple of the players. It's really quiet right now, so they're listening to us laughing at us over here.
Yeah, that was a little bit of I'd say a little bit of surprise. You know, after one of the games, the women's game, we had some players. Oh, you do a really nice job. And we're like, oh, how do you know? Have you listened to the broadcast? They're like, no, we can hear you on the floor. So it
made me a little conscientious of the things I'm saying. I mean,
for sure. You know,
you gotta say all nice things. You know, no when I'm coming over here midpoint, telling us some choice words. But
maybe some of those balls that are headed for the booth are on purpose. Maybe we should.
Maybe it was like, hey, watch your mouth talking about my service errors.
Yeah.
You come do it.
For sure, Ryan.
And then I'll get out there granny style, do my thing. As Dogger gets set back to serve here for the Calvin Knights, as that serve is up. And it is in. And talk about an ace, and talk about a way to start set number 5.
And huge there from Dogger as he sneaks that one in.
His consistency, been a really good serving spot for these Knights, and good knock of the wood there. And the broadcaster jinx does not happen in
I don't know what he's arguing about that one. That was a full catch and throw.
You know, Coach Saunders might need someone to do throw-ins. That wasn't just a catch and a throw. That was a throw-in.
That looked like a Hank Dumais med ball overhead pass there in the weight room.
And if you don't know who Hank Dumais is, that is our strength and conditioning coach here at Calvin, which we are blessed to have. Coach Hank does a fantastic job working with a variety of our sports teams. And look out. Although your score says 3-25, it's not. It's 3-0 Calvin Knights here in set number 5.
And in that 5th set, if we get to 25 in the 5th set, it's going to be a long 5th set because we only play till 15. And Dogger back to serve, consistent once again, 3-0 your score. And a more miscommunication from these Muskies. And
a tip.
I think that was on the ground, Ryan.
And another throw looking like, but not called there.
And some more finesse.
And the finesse. What a start here for the Knights, 4-0.
Wow, would not be surprised if we see a timeout here from Coach Brian Rushmer here. 4-0 lead here early on, only playing till 15.
And Dogger's ready. Dug out there in the back row nicely. Wow, and no other than Troy Jones getting on the floor, keeping it alive. Oh, Steele keeps it up. Dogger hits it up. And a nice play there, reading the ball out of the air is Davis Trawler, sending it to the floor.
Yeah, the junior doing a good job of keeping it on the Knights' side, earning the Muskies their first point of set number 5. As 22, Joe Boganski, the freshman, heads back to serve. And Ryan, he serves very, very deep behind the basketball inbound area.
Set on the outside, and that's going to find a fingertip and then deflect and hit the floor. Nice job executing around that outside block, which has given the Knights some fits here tonight.
Yeah, doing a very good job. And Lakeland up to 11 kills. And a massive swing and kill there from Jacob Donahue, the middle blocker for the Muskies. 5-2. Knights lead by 3 as Zhang heads off. Chase Anderson back to serve. And the block off the hands of Troy Jones, but out. Points for the Muskies. Coming back in set number 5. Anderson serve. Received by the Knights. Back row attack, finesse, no. And the Knights block there. Still kept alive. And 3 unanswered from the Muskies, down by 1. Busalachi with some finesse, able to hit a roll shot. And some luck there. Troy Jones off the net. Busalachi sends it out. And the Knights extend the lead to 2 once again. Busalachi not happy with that one, thought it was in. Nichols back to serve out of Caldwell, Idaho. Low serve, received well. The back row attack, tipped out by the Knights.
Uh-oh.
Parker Steele checks back in as Busalachi back to serve. A massive serve and an ace from Busalachi. All tied up here at 6. And Ryan, we talked about it from the beginning of this match. Busalachi gonna be one to watch out for. Jake Davidson checks in for Gavin Barber, the back row. Busalachi sets back up to serve. And another one into the cheap seats. Troy Jones getting it, trying to send it back as Parker Steele heading over into the booth. And the Muskies will take a lead. Would not be surprised if we see timeout, and we do. Muskies are fired up. Coach Frederick has got to find a way to get the Knights rolling here, down by 1. Midway through set number 5. And Ryan, what have you been seeing out of this Knights squad after the hot start?
You know, I think just the Muskies are figuring it out. They're getting that offensive rhythm back that we were seeing. We saw flashes of in set number 4. We saw flashes of in set number 1. So we're going back and forth here. I mean, Calvin's got to bring their best. The Muskies got to bring their best.
Yeah, you said it right there. Both teams got to bring their best, coming down to the wire. Both teams in set number 4 really hitting around that 175 mark. The Knights a little bit below, and the Lakeland Muskies right at. And gonna be huge. The Muskies are doing a really good job of detecting the Knights' finesse attempts. So we might have to see a lot of sets over here to Gabe Loughlin. The outside hitter leading the Knights in kills. Just a powerful force on the outside for the Knights, along with Nick Bolche. Both of them heading up the kills counts for the Knights, along with Troy Jones. All 3 of those massive figures in for the Knights. Parker Steele doing a great job. Doing a good job keeping the ball off the floor, along with Dogger setting up as Busalachi serving air, and we're all knotted up, and that's what the Knights needed right there coming out. And just a wonderfully smart timeout there from Coach Frederick. Busalachi getting in a groove that back there from the serving line, kind of icing the server there in a sense, and sending one into the net, gives the Knights back the ball as Ezekiel Jalen serves and is over. Bolche gets a hand on it, but the Muskies will send it over, and both of these teams will swap sides. And the Muskies 8-7 right now in set number 5. Momentum going both ways, back and forth. Looks like we'll have Jacob Donahue, the junior, back to serve for the Muskies. Knights have got to stay within 1 here, trying to get on some sort of a run. And that'll be just in. Beautiful
Talk about
placement.
finding a corner.
And Donahue back to serve once again. This one's shorter.
Troy Jones going with the finesse.
And hits the pole, and what an opportunity there for the Knights.
Making something happen.
Knights down 1, Troy Jones back to serve. Gavin Barber should check in. Jake Davidson heads out. Troy Jones, powerful serve. And a throw there for the point for the Knights is another over-the-head pass.
Hey, I mean, we talked about other sports. I mean, any of these Lakeland players can throw some strikes. I mean, we'll take you on the Calvin baseball team.
Yeah, 100% Ryan is that one. I'll head out. A serving error by Troy Jones. Knights down by 1. Those are the things you can't have here as Zhang heads back into this one. Zhang to serve. Powerful lefty. Like we mentioned, a bunch of spin. The gym very quiet. Parker Steele lays out.
And a nice dig by Steele.
Wow.
And a good setup. Come on. Oh, I thought I was going to make that way to the booth.
And Brookhuizen, massive over there on the far side. Sending it home. Nick Bolge back to serve, knotted up at 10. Bolge serve good. And Zhang sneaks it past the block of the Knights. Bolge heads out for Steele.
And we're creeping towards that 15-point marker here in set number 5. Uh-oh, up 2 now. Look out, the Muskies are hot.
Muskies get that one. Levi Everts back to serve once again. 2 points is your lead. Wonderful job there in the serve receive there for the Knights, and Zhang goes finesse, keeping it up are the Knights.
Free ball opportunity here for the Muskies. Up against the net, going to the finesse approach on the tip. Zhang throws it up in the air. Steele. And finding the hardwood is the big fella, Brookhuizen.
And Brookhuizen, huge, as Laughlin and Dogger check back in. And the Knights are within 1. Dogger head back to serve. And talk about the effort from the Knights, able to keep it off the floor. Instead of a 3-point deficit, we only have 1 here. Dogger to serve, 11-12 your score. Dogger serve good. And middle block, Laughlin and Carter Nichols. No, sir.
Heck yeah.
And we're all knotted up. Dogger, exactly who Coach Frederick wants to serve.
Said,
Back to serve for the
Like
Knights.
you mentioned, nobody better to have back there than this fella.
And sent back once again.
Some fantastic
Muskies will send it back. And
the
out.
Knights take the lead. 13-12.
Wow, Ryan.
Some exciting action here from Vanord.
Dogger back to serve once again. Nobody better on this Knights squad. Muskies in system. Finesse. And that'll hit the hardwood. Tie ball game here.
And it's all knotted up. Who's it going to be to make a run? All it takes is a little spark. 5 sets in. Tied at 2 apiece to get here. And it all comes down to this.
Joe Bagonski back to serve. The freshman. Deep server. We've seen a lot of serving errors off of him so far. Steele able to get it. Troy Jones sends it forward. Laughlin, finesse. And on the ground is Gabe Laughlin.
And you can hear it. I got my hands put together. We can feel the suspense coming down to it.
Set
the Knights
5.
are 1 point away from victory here at Venord Arena.
Match point here for the Knights. Gavin Barber back to serve.
Barber's ready, and his serve is up. It's in the back corner, handled by the defensive specialist. And Knights win! Knights win! Knights win! Knights win! All night, all day! Calvin University takes this one in 5 sets. Their second win of the season. Calvin Volleyball pulls it out here in the evening finish. Wow, what an exciting game. Coming back from that first set loss, taking care of business in sets 2 and 3, dropping set 4 in an absolute thriller here in set number 5 to cap it off here from Venord. Wow, wow, wow. Go Knights!
And Ryan, a lot of great players in that game, but we got to pick a Ryan player of the game. Who's your choice?
You know, if it comes down to it, I'm going with Troy Jones tonight. I thought he was a very reliable option for them, both on the offensive end, on the serving. A well all-around game from Troy Jones.
Yeah, player of the game, exclusive interview with Coach Frederick and possibly Troy Jones coming to you live here soon, so stick with us for that. But what a wonderful game here from the Knights.
Coach Frederick, congratulations on the win. Win's so hard to come by at the college level, and this one especially, having to scrap it out to 5 sets. Fantastic job. So first off, congratulations to you and congratulations to your squad on a hard-fought win.
Thank you. Yeah, it was awesome. It was a total team effort. I think we had a lot of guys come in when we were struggling, and they stepped up to the call, so it was awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, just looking at set 1, dropping set 1, some sloppy volleyball, a lot of errors, a lot of mistakes, but just consistently got better on both the offensive end, the defensive end, as well as serves, becoming more consistent. What was kind of the talk after set 1 that led to such a great adjustment?
I think we just knew we were messing up the easy plays. We had a lot of free balls, either drop or just wasn't clean on the first contact, and so we just said, let's make the easy balls our priority. And when we made the easy balls our priority, things started to flow a lot more with our offense, getting Nick and Carter going, and then able to outlet to our right sides and outsides. Definitely,
and taking sets 2 and sets 3 and then moving into set number 4, kind of dropping that 1-1 that you probably felt that you should have ended it in 4. Moving into set number 5, you know, not wanting to go obviously to set number 5, but in a close set in that. What did you tell your guys going into set 5? Just not overcomplicate things, kind of stick to doing the easy ball.
Right. I think the nice thing about volleyball is you got to win 3. So they didn't do anything, we didn't do anything. So we just figured, let's go into set 5, let's do or die, put up or shut up, honestly. So that's kind of how our mentality was going into that one.
Yeah. Well, Coach, congratulations on the win. I appreciate you stopping by and talking to us after the game, and congratulations, and hopefully keep that momentum moving forward.
Thank you so much.
Congrats.
And you heard it there from Coach. Man, oh man, just simplifying things, and honestly, that makes a lot of sense. You know, I think we said over here throughout the game and guessed a couple of times what the coaches were saying, but really, the Knights did look like they simplified things, stuck to their strong suits, and just, like you said, put up or shut up, made it happen out there on the floor tonight, which led to the victory.
Yeah, you said it right there. Totally different squad from set number 1 to the rest of the game, and the Knights able to pull this one out very closely at the end. 3-2 was your set count, and that'll be it for Ryan. And Ryan, we want to thank you guys for listening to us. We will hope you guys have a good rest of your Saturday evening. Stay safe out there. God bless. We hope you guys join us next time, and have a good night.